Today we discussed regarding the parallel inverter with feedback diodes we have to discuss. So this one is the circuit diagram of single phase parallel inverter with feedback diode. This circuit comprises of one pair of thyristors T1 T2 and one pair of diodes D1 D2. Both the thyristors and diodes are connected anti-parallel with each other. That is, thyristor T1 is connected anti-parallel with the diode D1 and thyristor T2 is connected anti-parallel with the diode D2. Beside this, an inductor L is connected across the circuit and capacitor C is connected in between the two thyristors. The function of capacitor C nothing but here treated as a commutating devices or commutating components, whose main function is to commutate the thyristor T1 and T2 simultaneously by operating diode D1 D2 simultaneously. And then this one is nothing but a transformer, that is auto transformer in nature. Here the transformer operates in step down mode, whose primary winding terminals A and E are connected with the thyristor T1 T2 and the secondary winding terminals, that is low voltage winding terminals having less number of turns than primary, these are connected with the load. EDC nothing but input voltage or source voltage and EL is the load voltage marked here. IL is the load current marked here, and B, C, D are the tapping portion or different connection of the diodes. The diode D1 is connected at the tap portion of B, diode D2 is connected at the tap portion D, and this one is supply voltage terminal connected just middle of the primary winding of the transformer. The parallel inverter with feedback diodes. The circuit operation can be divided into different operating modes. Thyristor T1 and T2 are the main load carrying thyristors. The inductor L and capacitor C are the commutating components. Diode D1 D2 are the feedback diodes which permit the load reactive power to the feedback to the DC supply. Mode number 1. During this mode, the thyristor T1 is triggered at the instant R. The battery voltage forces the current to the primary section through path EDC CA T1L EDC. The terminal C is positive with respect to A. The flux produced due to this current induces the voltage in all the sections of the transformer winding. The load voltage is nearly equal to EDC and is in such direction so as to force current into the dot at the terminal P. Due to autotransformer action, the voltage EDC is induced in C section of the primary winding. Mode 2. This mode begins with thyristor T2 switched on at the instant S. When T2 is turned on, the capacitor C is immediately apply a reverse voltage of 2 EDC across SCR T1 and turn off. When SCR T1 is turned off, the capacitor will discharge through SCR T2, inductor L, diode D1 and a portion of a transformer primary winding BA. Thus, the energy stored in the capacitor will be feedback to the load through the transformer coupling of the winding BA and PQ. The load current will earlier flowing through the SCR T1 will now flow through the CB and diode D1 to negative input terminal. This can be happen only if the diode D1 is forward bias and capacitor discharge current is more than the load current. The current through the inductance L will now flow through diode D2 DE and SCR T2, and the trap energy in the inductor L will be feedback to the load. D point is now connected to the negative supply terminal. The load voltage polarity will be reversed. Also, capacitor C will be charged in the opposite direction slightly more than the supply voltage. Thyristor T2 will stop conducting. Energy is transferred from the capacitor and inductor to the load. Mode 3. This mode begins with when load current becomes 0, diode D2 will be blocked and SCR T2 will have to trigger again in the instant U to reverse the direction of the load current. When thyristor T2 starts conducting, the load voltage will again becomes equal to EDC. The waveform of parallel inverter with feedback diodes. This one is the waveform of parallel inverter with feedback diodes. Here, this is the waveform drawn between the load current IL versus time t. In this curve, the commutation transient ln is drawn here. This one is due to the SCR T2 triggered period, and this one is also the SCR T2 triggered period, and this one is due to the capacitor charging period, and this one is due to the capacitor discharging period. During charging period of the capacitor, the output current I0 or the load current I0 or load current IL, which will be rising in nature. And during the discharging period of the capacitor, that load current which will be start falling in nature. That curve shows the falling nature of the curve. That curve shows a rising nature of the curves. So that this is a curve drawn between the load current IL with respect to time t. Then single phase full bridge inverters. The serious drawback of the half bridge inverter is that it requires a 3-phase 3-watt DC supply. This is overcome by commonly full bridge inverters. Full bridge single phase inverters, this is comprises of 2 pairs of thyristor T1, T2, T3, T4 and 2 pairs of diode D1, D2, D3 and D4. And the diodes are connected in such a manner that the diode D1 is connected antiparallel with thyristor T1 and diode D2 is connected antiparallel with thyristor T2 and diode D3 is connected antiparallel with thyristor T3 and diode D4 is connected antiparallel with thyristor T4. Then the load is connected here, a series combination of resistor R with an inductor L treated as the load. The load is connected at the 2 number of thyristor along with the 4 number of diodes. Then VDC is the input voltage or supply voltage or source voltage, that is DC in nature, that will be given to the circuit. When come to the operation, when we apply positive load voltage EDC, then the thyristor T1, T2 conduct. When we apply negative voltage minus EDC, then thyristor T3 and T4 will conduct. The diode D1 to D4 serve to feed the load reactive power back to the DC supply. In place of SCR T1, here 2 thyristor T1, T2 conduct. Similarly, in place of SCR2 and thyristor T3, T4 conduct. And in place of D1 and diode D1, D2 conduct, where instead of D2, here D3, D4 are conduct. Then the waveform of the load voltage. The load voltage waveform is fairly rectangular and is not affected by the nature of the load. This one is the gate pulses waveform, that is IG1, IG2 gate pulses marked here. This is the positive gate pulses given here for triggering the thyristor T1 and T2. This one is the negative gate pulses waveform given here. There is Ig3 and Ig3 gate pulses marked here. And this one is the waveform of load voltage waveform. Sometimes it is negative, which is maximum value, again positive, again negative. In this way it will be continuous cycle from time to time.